So we take a look at solving the polynomial equation, and we take a look at the steps. We have everything here, right here. Everything is good. We take this, we do this problem. So, the first thing you need to get that you need to do is to get everything to one side. Now, I already have everything to one side, but what if it looked like this? What if it looks like, I whistled. What if it looked like this? So then there I have two things on the left side of the equation and one thing on the right side. So if I wanted to get everything over, I'd have to do the opposite, and I'd add that 36 over to the other side. Now this doesn't have an x on it, so I cannot combine it with any of those. So I just have 4x to the fourth minus 40x squared plus 36 equals 0. So first step, get everything to the left side. I guess you can get it to the right side. It doesn't really matter. Get everything to one side. To one side. Next, we try any of our factoring techniques. So the first thing I always think of is, can I divide by something? And it appears to be so. I can divide by 4. Alright, that's pretty good. So then I get just x to the fourth minus 10x squared. Oh, this is beautiful. Plus 9. And that still equals 0. Don't forget the 0. So the first step is to get everything to one side. The second step is to use any of the factoring techniques. Factor completely. That's what we're trying to do. This looks like a quadratic, but it's a quartic function. But remember, I can still do the x factoring on it. As long as this is something and this is half of that, and then I have no x on that last term. Then it has quadratic form. That's what we say in mathematics. So, what goes on the top? Well, it's this coefficient. Ooh, I could use the shortcut. Times that, so that'll be 9 in the top and negative 10 in the bottom. And that just looks to be like 9 and 1. Except for they're both negative. Wasn't that great? And then I can use my shortcut. But remember that I'm going to be using x squared inside the parentheses. So let me copy down this 4 really quick. I copied it really quickly. Look how so quick. And then I have my shortcut. And then also equals 0. Don't forget the equals 0 part. That's just to remind you that you're solving. But anyway, we use x squared for the shortcut now. We use x squared minus 9, because that minus 9 came from there. X squared minus 1. And you're thinking, great, I'm done. Yeah. No, you're not done. You can still factor this. You can still factor this. Can I square root this? Yeah. Can I square root this? You know it. I don't know what that voice was. So then really I have 4 on the outside. And then my little pattern, right? Square root of that is x and x, 3 and 3. One of them's plus, one of them's minus. Great. But I can do the same thing there. I can square root the x squared. I can square root the 1. So this should actually be x plus 1 and x minus 1. And then again equals to 0. Alright. What's the next step? Okay, so first step, let's run over it again. First step, get everything to one side. I prefer to get everything on the left side, I guess. I actually don't care. Then the next thing is to use any of our factoring techniques to factor completely. And that's what I did here. Can I factor anymore? No. No, I cannot. And then the next step is to set each piece that has a variable, set each of those pieces to 0. Set it equal to 0. And then solve, because it's crazy. Look at this. It's crazy. If this term, if x was negative 3, then this term would change to 0, right? And then 0 times all the rest of that stuff, no matter what it is, will make the whole entire equation 0. So really, all I'm doing is I'm going like this. X plus 3 equals 0. Well, I can solve that real quick. I could just look at it and solve it. That's one of my answers. Because if I plug in a negative 3 here, this piece becomes 0 and cancels, or like multiplies all the rest by 0, so it doesn't matter. And then x minus 3 equals 0, well, that just means x equals 3. X plus 1 equals 0, subtract 1 from both sides, x equals negative 1. Look, I'm on a roll. You could call me butter, because I'm on a roll. Alright, and then add 1 to both sides, x equals positive 1 as well. Now, well, actually, no, that's it. I solved the equation. Each one of these, and I encourage you to try it, if you plugged it into here and you know how to plug in things to a calculator, you would get 0 every time. Because this is the same thing as that, which is equivalent to that. So there you go. That's how you do it. Let's run through the steps. Una vez más. I don't know. So first, get everything to one side, and then use any of our factoring techniques to factor completely. Don't forget the equal 0, because that's your hint that you take each piece. That's the next step. You take each piece that has a variable and you set it equal to 0. That's what I did there. Because if any of those pieces is 0, then the whole thing becomes 0. And then we solve each of those pieces. So we're like, negative 3 makes this piece go to 0. 3 makes this piece go to 0. And then so, hopefully that makes sense. Alright, I'm done with this video. I'll do another example in another video.